I'm going to try my best, guys, to pick the bones out of what I consider the dumbest game of football in terms of performance from Chelsea since I can remember. Like, wild, man. Like, just literally forgetting how to play football from back to front. Chelsea have lost 1-0 in the League Cup semi-final. The Carabao Cup, of course, is a two-legged affair. The first leg's away at Middlesbrough. And Chelsea should have walked to this game and walked the game at home, but they've lost this game. Now, I don't want to disrespect Middlesbrough, of course, they only lost 1-0 to Aston Villa. And by the way, we've drawn Aston Villa in the FA Cup. So by going with these games in evidence, we're going to be, win neither cup, ladies and gentlemen. This was such a weird game, dude. Like, I'm trying to get my head around this. Cole Palmer should have had a hat-trick in the first half. And if I'm being so gentle and kind towards the young Chelsea attacker, you could say he only should have had 2 goals. But he could have had 4 in that first half. And every single player, at some point within this game, across 90 minutes, forgot how to play football. Like, each one of them has a resume. I mean, apart from maybe Thiago Silva. But other than that, every player has like a resume of a misplaced pass, a peculiar run into nowhere, a pass into nowhere, just like being bullied off the ball. It was so weird and unique. And look, man, I am never going to tell people how to support their club. So if people want the manager out, you're absolutely entitled to that. But whatever your opinion is, right, you have to look at this and go, what the heck? Like, from the players, Palmer missing literally an open goal, 3 yards out, and dragging a shot wide where he should have absolutely scored. And he had a couple of other chances of his 4 chances in the first half. Madueke just coming from good form to completely just shell-shocking me in terms of some of the basic stuff he was getting wrong. Sterling just reverting back to type to completely poor Raheem Sterling. Look, we're going to do what we usually do in these videos, and I will talk about player performances maybe in detail later, but we got to talk about the holistic game, the holistic sort of crisis that this game presented me with. Like, it was such a bad first half. Like, it was so bad. Like, real poor. We thought, okay, well, it's going to be a Pochettino hair-dry treatment like the last game against Preston. Poor in the first half. We came out in the second half and we scored 4 goals. Probably should have been 5. No. Possibly even worse at times in the second half. I know we had like possession in the final third. Way more passes in their 18-yard box than they had in ours and all that kind of stuff. But that's always how Michael Carrick's Middlesbrough was going to play against Chelsea, and they deserved the win. Absolutely. Look, Chelsea had nearly 72% possession in this game, and in the second half, it was much more than that, I believe. I think it was pushing 80%. Chelsea had 18 shots to their 6, a 91% pass success to their 74, 12 dribbles to their 5. Rather surprisingly, we won more aerials than them. But they were good for the win. I didn't watch that thinking, oh, we're so unlucky. Oh, what are the odds? I was like, yeah, absolute incompetence. You guys know me. I like to try and be a bit more methodical, philosophical with my football analysis. But damn, dude, this was rough. Back to front. Like, the only player that played fairly well in the first half was Gusto. And even he started like doing bad stuff in the second half. He caught it off everyone else. It was almost like, I said this on my Instagram. I always do a halftime live show on my Instagram at Football Yannick. If you're interested in following me on Instagram, so I get to read your comments and respond on the live streams. I said it's almost like they decided that they were going to play badly, and it doesn't matter what changes were made or, more possession. It was like, no, we're going to continue the theme of doing things wrong individually. Like, it was unique, man. It was peculiar. Look, tell me if I'm being, like, dramatic here, but I was so disinterested. And football's such a wonderful thing because often you can like feel the vibe of a game. Like, I don't want to get all woo-woo here, but like an aura, right? And even like against the odds, you can feel like something's going to happen against the odds, against like, you know, and it happens, and you don't know how it happened, and it happened, and, you know, sometimes in a stadium, you know, the crowd's willing something to happen, and they shouldn't be able to affect it, but they do, and it happens, and it's great. I was so disinterested in this game in terms of watching it. Like, I love Chelsea. I want to watch every minute of every game. I work covering Chelsea, so therefore I have a special interest in watching it. But I was just like, you know, I was went to the toilet, started brushing my teeth. I've got my retainer in now, actually. If I'm, you know, a little bit, there's too much hiss on my S's. I apologize for that. But yeah, dude, like I was like making myself a drink, brushing my teeth, like, oh yeah, because you can pass the ball or as much as you want around that 18-yard box, and I just knew, you just know it. It felt terminal, and that is damning. That is damning. So Chelsea went with a 4-2-3-1 formation, and I don't know why. I mean, I guess, well, I do know why. It's because, you know, Middlesbrough play with a 3-4-2-1, so back five essentially most of the time, and they're going to sit deep, and, you know, of course they had 28% possession. So you play a 4-2-3-1 because in theory you have more attacking impetus than a 4-3-3. So Petrovic in goal, Colwill left back, Gusto right back, Silva and Disasi are the centre backs, and then you had Gallagher. Actually, you had, what did you have? You had Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo in a double pivot, and then you had Madueke on the right, Conor Gallagher in the number 10, Raheem Sterling on the left, and then not as a false nine, because I refuse to believe in a 4-2-3-1 system that the striker can be a false nine. When there's that many lines, when there's 4 lines, the striker is a striker. You know, if it was like a 4-3-3 and there's 3 lines, then the 9 can be like a false 9, like your Roberto Firmino at Liverpool. He was the quintessential false 9, playing in the wide forwards that would go ahead of him. Not in a 4-2-3-1. You play a 4-2-3-1, the guy up top is a freaking striker. And Palmer played as a striker. Now, I guess we start here because it's a really important talking point. Because his missed chances, for example, there's 2 really big missed chances where he first intercepts a pass really intelligently as the first line of defense, and then takes a shot and drags it where he should be putting it away. He did the hard part, the anticipation, and put it away. And the second one is where he anticipates a mistake from the defender or goalkeeper, and he chases it up and takes a shot at an open goal and skies it over. Wow, by the way. And again, he did the hard part but couldn't finish. Now, I wonder, again, I said this on my Instagram live, but I do wonder if because he was playing in that striker role, both those things there are strikery things. You know, like being the first line of the defense, anticipating the pass, and then following up. You know, strikers are always told to follow up on mistakes, and hopefully they get following up on mistakes, you know, like, you know, friggin', there's loads of examples of forwards that are doing it, but I can't think of them at the moment. Pick a good striker, and he probably does that. So it's almost like he's been told to do strikery things. Pochettino spoke about how we're going to use him differently as a striker. And he's almost like he did those strikery things, but when it came to the finish time, his like instinct is gone, maybe, because he's not doing what he usually does, which is playing on the right wing and maybe taking long shots or arriving late into the box as a number 10 and, you know, tucking chances away, because that's what he does. Instead, he was sort of occupying a different style and realm of football, you know, and this dude was operating in a different way, as strikers do, and it almost like put him off in the final minute. Now, I'm not saying that's like my definitive diagnosis about what went wrong. Bro missed a freaking 2 sitters, you know, there's no escaping that, but I'm trying to like play devil's advocate of reasons why he was consistently missing chances, because he missed 2 sitters, but he missed 2 other goal scoring chances that inform, you know, Cole Palmer's score. So the game needs to be reflected on that as well. Like, we could be 3 or 4-0 up in the first half and the game is different. It was peculiar how he missed chances. It's not all on Cole Palmer. He's not a striker. He's 21 years old. Interestingly, later on when he was moved over to the right wing, I was an advocate for that. I thought that was going to make him play better for the reasons I've just explained to you guys there. As in, like, it's not his native areas that he occupies. So going back to his role, his regular tasks that he's used to, I thought would do him good. I never saw him again. And in that second half, I remember a commentator saying, like, oh yeah, Cole Palmer. And I went, oh yeah, that dude's on the pitch. Literally forgot about him in the second half, which is no good because he's meant to be like, you know, relative main character in the Chelsea's attack, and he just went, which is strange. Okay, the goal came on. Let's talk about the goal. The 37th minute, Zia Jones assisting Hayden Hackney, and they did carve for us a few times, and we like demonstrated some poor defending and really lack of control in midfield. But the goal was good. Again, this is something I said when I did my live show at halftime. The goal was good. It was good. I like how... So Hayden Hackney's the number 7. Isaiah Jones goes to his post, and it looks like he's squaring it to the far post. And Hackney's the number 7. He ghosts in and takes the finish, like, almost off him. To be honest, I really like the goal. I mean, I don't like it against my team, but I think it's a really well-executed team goal. Obviously, it's in transition. Like I said, we did way worse in other transitions in terms of how we dealt with it. But, you know, Levi Colwill had a poor game. But for that moment, you know, he was trying to defend the cross, and he did most stuff right. The guy just got the cross away, and the rest was just a good execution of where the first recipient was, and then where the ultimate finisher was. It was a good goal. So shout out Middlesbrough, and, you know, congratulations on your win, guys. You ruddy knobheads. Mate, also, like, I'm laughing from the warmth of my living room. My word, my heart goes out to the Chelsea fans who went to watch that game. We travelled to Middlesbrough. I'm sorry, guys. Like, some of them may even be watching this. If you went to the game as an away fan, like, well done, man. And, you know, you deserve a great deal of recognition for that nonsense that you had to endure. So they scored the goal. Pochettino makes about the hour mark changes. He takes off Madueke and Fernandez and brings on Breuer and Mudryk, which, to be honest, that's the 2 changes that you want, isn't it? Ultimately, that is the 2 changes that you want. So he goes for it. So the double pivot becomes Caicedo and Gallagher. And then we have a front 3. I don't know. Well, either way, he brings on those 2 players. They're really the only 2 attacking players on the bench. So we'll talk about the players. We talk about the manager. First of all, the manager, I don't know, the buck stops with the gaffer, doesn't it, really? So when the players play like that, you can blame the players, and I am inclined to do that, but how do you make all the players better, you know? You'd argue as well that we were in a relative good form before this. Was it 5 wins and 6? Was it that? Yeah, but was it all 4 wins and 5? I think it was 5 wins and 6, but that includes the penalty shootout, which really was a draw at full time, wasn't it? So it has to go down as a draw. But of course, we qualified, so people like to chalk it up as a win. Regardless, relative good form, but against, you know, not the greatest of opposition. But this was one of those not the greatest of opposition, guys. It's a championship. It's a team that's 12th in the championship. I don't know what Preston are, but like, you know, and granted we were at home as well, but freaking hell, dude. It's not like the Middlesbrough Stadium. We gave them reason to get, like, the Riverside. We gave them the reason to get behind the team and excited and create an atmosphere. There wasn't a great atmosphere at all up to their goal, you know, in the first 40 minutes. It's not like it was a cauldron. We just let Chelsea were like, come on, guys. It's your big day. It's a semi-final. Enjoy yourselves. Have a goal. They score. There you go. Now you're having fun. Do you know what I mean? That's what it was like. So, you know, I don't know, man. The manager's not going anywhere. At times, that we know what we're doing. Of course, it's a big talking point. Understandably, those Chelsea fans are upset because of the money spent and the league position, and, of course, just generally where we are and frustrating things. Like, of course, Julien Laurens, which is a French journalist, broadcaster, pundit basically, laid into Mauricio Pochettino saying he doesn't know what's going on with this Chelsea team. I do think he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder from Pochettino's time, maybe at PSG, I'm not so sure. I do like Julian Laurent, but it caused a talking point. Liam Twomey spoke on the Straight Out of Cobham podcast, kind of in response, saying, well, yeah, I can always see what Chelsea want to do. He kind of contested what Laurent said, saying, yeah, that I can see what Chelsea are trying to do. It's just getting them to do it. And, eventually the buck will stop with Pochettino, but it's not right now. Whether you agree with that or not, that's the truth. That's where we are. But the players, man, this was like I said, I might call this the video the dumbest Chelsea performance ever or whatever, or something like that. But dumb is the word, because player performances, look, Petrovic, whatever, I think the goal was good, and I don't really see much else of you. Maybe you did okay. Gusto, good half. He sort of fell off in the second half and caught the whatever was going round. Colwill, bad. I'm sorry, bro. Look, you're a good young player. You're a great talent. You'll be a good Chelsea player, but bad in this game. Silva, fine. Calm head, and he'll be disappointed of everything he saw, what's in front of him. I saw him make a great recovery run as well to make up for someone else's mistake. Disasi, not great. I mean, I think I saw him do a couple of stinky moments, but, let me know what you think of player performances. Caicedo, I'm using whoscored.com for a reference for stats. They've given Caicedo our highest rating at 7, and I thought he was bad. I don't think he was the worst, but I was watching him make mistakes going, what the hell's happened? I think, like I said, it's like a collective decision the Chelsea players have made. Like, okay, we're all going to be bad today. Like, one out of every 3 actions we're going to mess up. Whether that's, a touch, a take, a run, a pass, a shot, a contested duel. We're going to, 1 out of 3, we're going to mess up. Gallagher, I mean, meh. He did what he does, but he didn't really we're still waiting for Gallagher to come in and score that goal, his first goal of the season, and do something in the attack that helps us. It's all very well these high turnovers, but it don't mean anything when you're just playing like this against this team. You need something. Some people that are you need a Frank Lampard basically. And between Gallagher, Caicedo, and Enzo Fernandez, you got none of that. You haven't got a midfielder that's just going to say, right, none of this is working. None of the plan is working. I'm just going to score a goal from midfield to change it, settle the nerves, and then hopefully the plan will start working again. We simply don't have that. Palmer, man. I feel bad for him, but shocker in front of goal. I mean, look, man, he's cold, Palmer. We love him. He's been great so far this season, and he did good work to put himself in those goal-scoring opportunities, but shockers. Absolute shockers. I mean, the two, forget the whole game and everyone having multiple shots. Palmer had multiple shots, but the 2 absolute sitters alone, that granted he earned the shots, but they are absolute sitters. I know it's a 2-legged tie, but they win us this game. We leave 2-1 from the Riverside. But then we had, then there was around those couple of minutes of those sitters from Palmer, there was a whole football match that we managed to execute into a disaster. Sterling, absolutely awful. Madueke, really frustrating, just ran around and kept doing, again, this Mudryk, Sterling and Madueke as wingers, for me, personified the weird decisions and the inability to do normal things. And just the dumbness of the game. Breyer came on, did nothing. But whatever. I think he made actually a good cross into the box, and that was it. Gilchrist came on and right back for Gusto. I don't know why. And there we go. It's really bad, I think, actually. Look, we might take them back to Stamford Bridge and beat them by over a goal margin, and therefore get into the League Cup final. But make no bones about it, this was supposed to be a comfortable Chelsea. Well, maybe not comfortable, that's disrespecting Borough, especially after their performance against Villa. But absolutely a Chelsea win. If it was like a 1-1, it would be not ideal, but whatever. But to straight up lose this game is embarrassing. And when you watch how the players played, you understand. So anyway, let me know what you think. Back in the studio tomorrow. Of course, when we have evening games, I'll record like this, match reaction. Some people might even prefer it, so let me know in the comment section below. But so hopefully we'll make it through this together on Football Therapy, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.